WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Now, on to a game that is legendary. I have been covering the Nintendo 64. I've talked about Mega Man. I've talked about WCW versus NWO World Tour, WCW versus NWO Revenge. And now we're on to the game that rocked sleepovers and everything. Came out in 1997. 1997 was probably one of the... 1997 and 98 were probably best years of games. I don't remember exactly when Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy VII came out, but they came out at some point. But this game I'm about to talk about right here is Goldeneye 007, the James Bond game. As a first-person shooter, I played Doom, I played Wolfenstein, I played Dark Forces, I played quite a few different stuff on my computer. First-person shooters on a console, like I had Quake, I had Hexen and stuff like that. I had that stuff on Saturn and stuff, but all that stuff was trash ass, with the exception of Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem was something that I could get into, but this game right here let 4 people play in multiplayer mode right then and there. So when we first got this game, we had already set up 4 controllers automatically. And, you know, the key thing in this game was we had different weapons, rocket launchers, grenades, knives only, and then the golden guns. The golden guns, one-shot kills, if that's how it goes down. And the levels on this, and I'm not even talking about the single-player campaign, I'm just talking about playing with 4 people, all in the same room, co-op. We put man hours into Goldeneye. Goldeneye was one of them games that you just, if you had a 64, you bought it. It made no sense to have a 64 without having Goldeneye. You could have skipped Super Mario, Zelda, F-Zero, any of that extra stuff. But Goldeneye was the game that you had to keep. The gameplay mechanics, the features and everything on this game, and just the different multiplayer modes, like we would do big head mode, different stuff like that. People continue to play this game like I even play it now. And even on the Nintendo Switch, if you get those 64 controllers, people are still out here playing GoldenEye. That multiplayer, even though when you look at it today compared to the Halos, Call of Duties, and Battlefields, it's very basic. But for what we were doing in 97, we played that game into the 2000s. Like 1997, I was still playing that joint in like 04. Like I was like, let's just break out the Nintendo 64. Let's play GoldenEye. Some people called it 007, but Pierce Brosnan on the front. The GoldenEye storyline, who really cared about that in all honesty? I mean, James Bond's cool, but getting out here, you could play as the female. I don't remember her name. The villain, don't remember his name. Boris, definitely remember Boris because he was a computer nerd. Boris, you know, you could out here, he's out here clapping with the little PP7, the silencer, the RCP 900 or something like that. Just having all those guns, and then having the Russian assault rifle, the going all crazy, bucking and stuff like that. Something about that, and not even about the balance, just being able to play. And I mean, we played the dead heats, like we had 10 wins, whatever. It gave you enough settings inside of the multiplayer modes that we could run around the same map and play that thing from 7 in the evening till 7 a.m. and nobody got tired. Now moving on to the single player campaign, by far one of the more tight storylines, very linear, but for what you did inside the game to what you did in multiplayer, the campaign was amazing. Like, it was the James Bond story, probably one of the best told, and probably one of the best movie license usages I've seen in a game. I cannot go any more in depth into it, because the thing is, if you've never played it, it's something that it's an experience you should play. And I'm saying this for the record, don't go out there and play GoldenEye 007 Reloaded, that version, because that version is trash ass. When Rare made this game, the people that make Donkey Kong, make Killer Instinct, they made something that is immortalized. Like, nothing will ever be like this again. Even if they re-released it, updated the graphics, it's not going to have that same gameplay, because it's not that same controller unless you got it on the Switch plan and you got the wireless Switch 64 controllers, which that's the only hiccup. That's why I still got the Nintendo 64. So most definitely, I want to leave it on this note. GoldenEye to me is the number one game you should have for the Nintendo 64. I'm looking at the system right now. If I didn't have freaking GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64, it would not even be in my house right now. And that's how serious it is. Once again, this is JR from West Virginia Commonplace, and I greatly appreciate you all listening, taking your time to be involved with the podcast, and I just want to thank you. So on that note, I hope this Nintendo 64 series was pretty cool for you. If you want us to do something else like this, we will continue to do more things like this, because they're exciting and fun. So I'm signing off.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.